Okay guys, here we are with example 2 of solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. And even though when we look at this one we might want to complete the square, we're going to do this using the quadratic formula. So remember, the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So there we have our quadratic formula. We're going to go back and use that while we do this. So if you were wondering, wait, why would this be good to use completing the square? Well, notice a is 1 and b is even, so it's just a nice candidate for that. But no, we are going to use the quadratic formula. So in this case, we get our equation in standard form. It's already there. And then we're going to list a, b, and c. A is 1, B is 6, and C in this case is negative 2. So here we go. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. And so what we get is x equals negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36. Now here we go. This is where some students might make some mistakes. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8 all over 2 times 1, or 2. All right, next we are going to add those up. So we get x equals negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus 8, 44, all over 2. Now, do not stop here. You are not completely done because this is not completely simplified. The square root of 44 can be simplified. You can think about it as the square root of 4 times the square root of 11. Since 4 is a perfect square, we're going to call this 2 root 11. So I'm going to keep going. X equals negative 6 plus or minus 2 root 11 over 2. But we're not even going to stop there, because look at this. 6, 2, and 2 are all even. So we can split this up. We can decompose this fraction. This is negative 6 over 2. Plus or minus 2 root 11 over 2. And notice that our first fraction can reduce and our second one can. So we need to make sure to do that. We need to say that this is actually negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 11. Now, I simplified this fraction by splitting it into 2 different fractions. You don't necessarily have to do that. So there's another method I'm going to show you down here. Let's say we had x equals negative 6 plus or minus 2 root 11 over 2. And I notice that 6, 2, and 2 all have a common factor of 2. So what I can do is factor out a 2. So I can say this is really the same as 2 times the quantity, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 11 over 2. In which case I can cancel those. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and get the exact same answer, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 11. It's just a different way of thinking about it. So you can either decompose your fraction, like I did here, into 2 separate things, or factor out the 2 and then cancel it. It's your choice, but either way, you will get this. All right, guys, see you later.